All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Mayum coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechahak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. And just want to do a quick land back off the two videos that I've recently watched, that being one of the Elder Ariala, which is entitled as Beware of the Hangout Spirit, the Hebrew Hangout guy, and Apostle Tahar also did a response to that video. So, I just want to put in my 2 cents, on the matter, because really going into what the apostle was bringing out, the difference between a Epicurean and a Stoic. And one of the things here that the apostle brought out that I took a screenshot of is what is the difference between Stoic and Epicurean on Google. And so, Lord's will, this be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. If I haven't already, let me give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechahak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. And so what Google has here laid out for what is the difference between Stoic and Epicurean, and I'm just going to read it. It says, in summary, a simple heuristic to remember the difference between the Stoics and the Epicureans. The Stoics cared about virtuous behavior and living according to nature, while the Epicureans were all about avoiding pain and seeking natural and necessary pleasure. Okay, and something that should stand out immediately is the majority of the people of the earth. Okay, and what the majority of the people on the planet Earth are under is the spell of pleasure. Okay, let me get that real quick here in 1 Timothy 5 and 6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay, and this isn't just specifically speaking about women, because we understand, or at least those that have the understanding of the Bible, is that the servants or the people of the Most High are likened unto the fervent lover of the Lord. Okay, so we're likened unto the bride. Okay, we are likened unto females, in a sense. So the majority of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and those of our people that are scattered amongst the nations live in a pleasure lifestyle. All right, matter of fact, let's get this in Google. Let me type this in and see what comes up. What is a YOLO lifestyle mean? YOLO is an acronym for you only live once. It is a modern spin on the Latin phrase carpe diem, meaning that you need to seize the day. The whole concept is based on the fact that you only have one life and you should live it to the fullest, even when it comes to taking risk. You see, and one of the main things that these people risk is their lives. Okay, let me get this real quick. Just popped into mind. All right, because and I'll read this again in for this YOLO. It says YOLO is an acronym for you only live once. It is a modern spin on the Latin phrase carpe diem, meaning that you need to seize the day. The whole concept is based on the fact that you only have one life and you should live it to the fullest, even when it comes to taking risk. And the biggest risk that these people are taking is that of their life, of losing their life. And let's prove that through the scriptures, because they live life to the fullest to try to maximize every single day, to seek that pleasure, to fulfill themselves. Okay, so let's get this in Matthew chapter 16, and I'll start at verse 24. It said, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me. So if you want to call yourself being a disciple or a follower or one under the discipline of the Messiah, This is what he says you need to do. If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So denying yourself means to what? Let's see what Google says. Let's see what Google says to deny oneself mean. It says to deny oneself means to refrain from indulging in one's own desires or wants. So you can't be living that YOLO lifestyle. You can't be living an Epicurean lifestyle. All right, let's go back to that definition or the difference between Stoicism and Epicureanism. It says, while the Epicureans were all about avoiding pain and seeking natural and necessary pleasure. So that's what the Epicureans were after. That's what they sought. That basically this YOLO lifestyle to live life to the fullest. Okay, so to deny oneself means to refrain from indulging in one's own desires or wants, essentially putting the needs of others or a higher purpose before your own personal gratification. And that takes a stoic life or a stoic mindset to deny oneself. Okay, so this is what the Messiah said you had to be, and take up his cross and follow me. You have to deny yourself, man, instead of seeking to indulge in your pleasures. So verse 25 says, Matthew 16, and this is what those that live that Epicurean lifestyle, that seek after their own pleasures, this is what they're risking. Matthew chapter 16, verse 25, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. And how do you lose your life? By denying yourself, by denying the pleasures that you seek after. That's how you deny yourself, or that's how you lose your life for the Lord's sake. As it says, whosoever will lose his life for my sake, because it's not just deny yourself for some cause here, some worldly cause. To lose yours, to lose your life for the Lord means to follow after him and put aside your wants and needs, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel comfortable, and get out of that zone to a zone that feels uncomfortable, that's unpleasurable at times. Okay, so I could give me 1 second. So it goes on to say for verse 25, I read it again. Matthew 16 and 25, it says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You see? So living that Epicurean lifestyle, that risk that you're taking, as it said here, for the difference between an Epicurean and a Stoicism or Stoic, Epicureans were all about avoiding pain and seeking natural and necessary pleasures. When you seek those pleasures, okay, instead of feeling uncomfortable to seek after the Lord, you're ultimately trying to gain your soul. Okay, but it said what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. You see, according to his works, man. And we read earlier, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, man. Okay, you are dead if you're living an Epicurean lifestyle, man, enjoying the pleasures of this world, enjoying the pleasures of that the flesh seeks after. Okay, and ultimately you're not denying yourself, because you're following after the ways of this world, and the ways of this world leadeth unto destruction. Let's get that real quick. This is Matthew chapter 7, and verse 13. It says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate." And the straight gate is not spelled straight as in a straight line, straight as in a difficult. Okay? "Enter ye in at the difficult gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat." You see? So the majority of the people on the earth live that Epicurean lifestyle, and that is the wide and broad way. That leadeth to destruction, because ultimately you're going to die. You sought to please yourself. You sought to displease the Lord, because ultimately when you seek to please yourself, you're displeasing the Lord. And that's what you have to understand. It says, because verse 14, "Because straight is the gate, or difficult is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." You see, there's few that find the life that's at the end of this difficult path of denying yourself to serve a higher purpose. Okay, and keeping yourself under the yoke. Okay. Let me see, precept that just came to mind. Yeah, let's get this in Galatians chapter 5. Okay? You have to put yourself under the yoke of the Most High, man, which is not going to come easy. It's going to seem difficult at times, because the flesh is seeking to want to please itself, but the spirit and the flesh are warring against each other. That's the condition of the battle, man, that we face here in this world, is the tug and pull, or the push and pull of the flesh and the spirit, and them both trying to please, itself. The flesh is seeking to please itself, and the spirit is seeking to please the Lord, because the spirit comes from the Lord. Okay, and this flesh is a motherfucker, man. It is a tough battle. This is why Yahushua came down to conquer the flesh, so that we could have that grace period to show the Lord that, look, Lord, we understand that we're not perfect. We're never gonna be perfect in this flesh, and we just calling on you and hope and pray that we receive of your mercy, and we call on His name, and we return unto Him and try to keep the ways of the Lord to the best of our abilities. And when you try to keep the ways of the Lord to the best of your abilities, it entails living a stoic lifestyle, because the world that we live in is wicked, man. And you have to be stoic. You have to be disciplined. Okay? Because if not, this world will gobble you up, man. The cares of this world will choke you up. So let's get this in Psalms. And let's just read verse 1 just to get to the point. Galatians 5:1, it says, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Hamashiach hath made us free." And how has Yahushua made us free? Through Him getting the victory over the flesh. He did what we could never do, and what we never done, which is to be perfect in this flesh. Because we're not perfect, because what's wrong is the flesh. Let's get that to prove that real quick. The problem is this flesh. Hebrews chapter 8. We'll come back to that. Galatians. Hebrews chapter 8. Let's start at verse 5. It says, "Who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of the Most High when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount." Right. And so when Moses went up to Mount Sinai, and he was up there, if I'm not mistaken, 40 days, the Lord showed him how the things were in heaven, all right, in the spiritual realm, where everything is perfect. Everything is in complete order with the Heavenly Father. And the Lord gave him that blueprint to come down to the earth and make these things, okay, and to write these particular laws, so that it was a shadow of things to come, as it speaks about. I'm not sure if it's this chapter or the previous chapter, but The law was a shadow of things to come, which that perfection was going to come, and it is going to come, but it's not here yet. That's why keeping the law, you got these guys that teach keeping the law, that's not going to save you, man. That's not going to make you perfect in the eyes of the Lord, because there's still a problem, and it's this flesh. It says, verse 6 now, Hebrews 8:6, it says, but now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then there should no place have been sought for the second. Right? If the Old Testament or the old promises, were perfect, if everything was good, then there wouldn't have no need for there to have been a New Testament, so to say. Okay, I hope you understand. It says, so what was the problem? Why did the Lord have to send Yahushai if keeping the law was the way? What was the purpose of Yahushai coming down? To conquer the flesh, because that was the problem. Verse 8, Hebrews 8:8, for finding fault with them. You see, with who? With us. He saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will, and that's pretty much the point, that I wanted to make. The finding the fault was with us, with this flesh. Because the laws and everything that the Lord showed Moses to do and to try to keep was perfect. There was nothing wrong with that. What was wrong was with us, because we couldn't keep it. And that the reason why we couldn't keep it is because the flesh was trying to seek to please itself, and to please the Lord and to follow after his ways, the perfect ways, is difficult with being in this flesh. And ultimately, that's why Yahushai was sent, so that we could also be joint heirs with Yahushai and have the victory over the flesh. But the majority of our people don't want to receive that victory. And that's why the scripture says the same shall know it by death, by pain. You're going to know of your victory over the flesh by you dying, by this flesh dying through your death, and you being made a new creature in the kingdom of heaven. But those that live that stoic lifestyle, that come back to the Lord and live a disciplined and unpleasurable life here in this world, are going to receive that new covenant, that new body, that new flesh on this side. When we get delivered, when we are changed in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, as it talks about in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end it there. That was pretty much the point. The spirits, stirred up, through watching the elders and the apostles video. So Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Racha HaKodash. The honors of the elders, apostles, great millstone, and most blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. With that, I say Shalom.